Hannah Nice here, head trainer and co-founder of the Magnetic Mind certification here at Conscious Education. This is a live session that has been filmed in our Magnetic Mind Masterclass, which is a coaching program. If you hear me refer to attendees, this was a live session inside the program. You won't be able to comment or chat with me, obviously. Enjoy the session and subscribe, hit that notification button, and share the session if you feel this is valuable. Bye for now. The session that I have planned for you guys today is one that I've been wanting to do basically for ages, but in a way, it wasn't really a priority, if that makes sense. So probably you know, those of you who have been with us for a while, that when I get ready for these sessions, I will always tune into the group and see what's really beneficial, what is serving the highest good of everyone. And in a way, this idea that I had never popped up. And I was like, man, I want to do the session. However, it was never a priority, but for this session, I got it. And I was like, yeah, finally, I can do this with you guys. So today is exciting for me, and it's going to be absolutely powerful for you as well, because we're going to take a look at how we can unhinge stuck creations. So there might be manifestations that you have in your lenses where you go, I feel completely stuck and nothing is moving. And we will do a really, really powerful process unhinging that and really ensuring that the energy gets moving again, right? And what we're going to do today is we're going to work on a really, really important part of or aspect of your resistance, which is beliefs. Now, those of you who have been with us for a couple of days or weeks, who knows already that some of the beliefs that you're holding are really not in alignment with what it is that you're creating. Just speaking of identity level beliefs like I'm not good enough, I'm not capable, I need to be perfect. Who noticed that, or who has come aware of beliefs already where you go, well, actually holding that belief doesn't really serve me creating what it is that I want. Can I get a yes in the chat box from those of you who would agree that this is the case? Truly love you. Yes to all those beliefs, right? Mick, yeah, some are so resistant. Lana says yes. Peter says yes. John, thanks so much. Sandia, yeah, lots of beliefs, right? Lots of beliefs. Yeah. Thanks, Kinga. It's a Finnish model. So yeah. Thanks so much. Michaela, yeah, absolutely, right? Yes, absolutely. So, and again, when it comes to beliefs, we need beliefs, right? Beliefs is how we make sense of the world. It's human nature. It's perfectly fine. However, when you are having beliefs, when you're holding beliefs that are out of alignment with your end result, these beliefs will keep you stuck, right? So there's nothing wrong with having beliefs. Beliefs are awesome. Beliefs are a guiding light. Beliefs are helping us making sense of the world and really experiencing the world in a way that we can orientate, right? So it is just important that we notice and that we become aware that whenever we are doing something that's different than before, which you are absolutely doing, when you make the shift and you get into this work and you go, so I'm going to consciously create what it is that I truly desire, that's different, right? So what happens then is there will be beliefs in your system that are out of alignment with these new end results. And these beliefs will keep you stuck because they're not supporting what it is that you're creating, right? To the contrary. And what's important to know is that these beliefs are actually serving kind of like table legs to keep an emotion in place. So if you were to imagine a table with the tabletop being an emotion, the emotion is actually held in place by certain beliefs that we have, kind of like table legs. So for example, when you are having emotions like fear or anxiety or doubt or confusion that are stopping you from taking the correct action, these emotions are held in place by beliefs. These emotions are held in place by beliefs. And what we're going to do today is we're going to shift these beliefs from negative, aka stuck, to positive, aka flowing. So these table legs are knocked out and you can take action, right? Skyler just typed in usually doubts a lot of these, right? And you can rest assured that these doubts, these emotions of doubt they're held in place by certain beliefs, and we need to knock out these table legs so the whole structure falls apart. Does that make sense? It's kind of like a domino effect. It's really, really powerful. Kinga says, amazing, can't wait. Peter, like it, beautiful. Yeah, so that is what we're going to do. And to show you the power of the shift, I wanted to share about a story that I read about two brothers who grew up with a father they absolutely admired. However, they lost their father to an illness at a really, really young age. At a really, really young age. Now, what happened was one of the brothers went down the path of losing hope and doing all these things that you can see play out in the world so often, connecting with the wrong people doing all sorts of wrong stuff, ending up in jail, and really going down the rabbit hole of basically, yeah, shredding his life into pieces, right? So lost the father and then lost hope and ended up in that place of hopelessness, ending up in jail, feeling super, super hopeless, lonely, sad, and just fed up with everything, right? Now, what's interesting, the other brother, who also lost the father at a really, really young age, after that happened, really went down on discovering his talents and gifts. He really started getting into, so what is it that I can share with the world? What is it that I can do to really ensure that I leave a legacy? And that brother just went out, created an amazing business, and is basically thriving in the world. Now, here's the thing. Wouldn't you agree that both brothers encountered the same event? They grew up, and at a really, really young age, they lost their father to an illness. Now, if you would ask the brothers separately what that did to them, the one brother would potentially say, I'm so angry that my father left me. This completely destroyed me. No wonder I ended up in jail. Right? Who can see that? Now, the other brother would potentially say, well, when my father passed away, I realized that I had been given the gift of stepping into my own power. Same event, two different perspectives. Can you see that, guys? One brother holds the belief of powerful, one brother holds the belief of powerless, and both have encountered the same event. Both have encountered the same event. And this is really interesting, and we can see that play out a lot, and it happens to all of us. What is just true is that we gave meaning to past experiences by deciding on the meaning. We gave meaning, I really want you to hear me on this. Let that sink in for a moment. We gave meaning to past experiences by deciding on the meaning. Just like these two brothers did. Whenever something happened to us, we wanted to figure out how the world is. So we decided on what that event meant to us, what that experience meant to us. And what we did is we decided on the meaning, which means we created a belief. Now, what's interesting is that most likely at an early age, this happened unconsciously. Would you agree? When you're really, really young, little toddler, and you're absolutely in that focus already, wanting to make sense of the world, and you're creating a belief, most likely you're not consciously aware of it, right? Now, this helped us make sense of what was happening, right? Can we all appreciate that this was an absolutely healthy mechanism helping us to make sense of what was happening, especially if the experience was highly charged or even traumatic, right? We had to find a way to deal with, to make sense of what was happening, what was going on. Right on, truly, it worked at the time, right? And it was a healthy and absolutely important mechanism to implement and go, okay, so here's something going on that's highly charged or even traumatic, and I'm deciding on the meaning, and this will help me make sense of that, right? This will help me make sense of that. Now, what happens is once we have created these beliefs, we might not be consciously be aware of those beliefs. However, we can feel the emotions that are held in place by those beliefs. Remember the table and the table legs? If we create a belief, for example, I'm powerless, guess what? We might not be consciously aware of that belief that we have created, because again, it might be pre-verbal, right? At the moment that happened, there might not even be the ability yet for us to consciously think a thought, but we put that in place. And what we will see play out is the emotion that is held in place by that, right? So creating a belief of I am powerless will absolutely result in the emotion of powerlessness, of incapability, to play out over and over again, because it's held in place by that belief and potentially some other beliefs that are added to that. We can see that, right? So you might have a stuck emotion like doubt, for example, or powerlessness, or anxiety. And when you connect into it, you'll find beliefs supporting this emotion, right? So if you have the emotion of doubt that is knocking you out your action taking focus over and over again, when you connect into doubt, most likely you'll find beliefs around I'm not good enough, I don't know enough, right? When you have an emotion around anxiety, for example, you will have beliefs in place that support that anxiety, that are around beliefs of not wanting to be rejected, or being afraid of being hurt, right? I'm going to get hurt. When I show myself, I'm going to get hurt. All these things, and it's uniquely different from person to person, but can you see the mechanism? Can you see how that all fits together? Laura, I would guess how they felt about the other sibling growing up would also be an influence. Absolutely, yes. Whatever they took on and added meaning to it, that would then have them experience life in a certain way, right? Yeah, Mick, right? Yeah, 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 yeah. When my older brother died 25 years ago, I decided that I didn't want to live a great life because he couldn't live his life. Yeah, right. I can't live my life because my older brother didn't get to have one. And it just happens, right? Just happens. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So again, we go through these experiences, and potentially when they are highly charged or even traumatic, we put these beliefs in place that will help us make sense of those. And we see those stuck emotions that are attached to these beliefs, that are held in place by these beliefs, playing out over and over and over. Now, again, there's nothing wrong with deciding on the meaning of a certain event, right? This is just what needs to happen so we are able to function, right? This is just what needs to happen so we're able to function. And what is just important to understand is that the decisions that we're making in the very moment when we're creating those beliefs, these are affected by how we feel. So, for example, when you go through a really, really peaceful, calm experience, and again, same applies, you will make a decision on what that event means to you. The decision will most likely be differently than when you go through something that has you feel upset, angry, anxious, fearful. Who can see that, right? So these decisions that we make, they're absolutely affected by how we feel. And this doesn't only apply to beliefs. Who would say that this is true? When you are in a place where you need to make a decision, wouldn't you all agree that looking back on your life, the decisions that you made when you were peaceful and calm have been on a different level than the decisions that you made when you were in a rush, stressed, pressured, Yeah, absolutely, Alex. Applies in all aspects of life. Yeah, right. Absolutely. Which basically means that when we're in that highly charged traumatic experience, it might well be that we just had to make a decision. We didn't have time to actually consider all the options of what this could potentially mean to us. We just made a decision because it had to be made. Right? Yeah, right on. Thanks, John. Thanks, Skyreads. Thanks, Peter. The decision just had to be made. Right? The decision had to be made, and then we moved on. Now, what's really, really awesome to know is that we can, at any point in time, redecide what an event means to us. At any point in time. Basically, the past doesn't exist. What we see as the past is basically our memory of events and the decisions that we made, what these events meant to us. However, we can redecide what an event means to us. And this is one of the greatest personal powers that we have. And I really want you to hear me on this. The past doesn't exist. You've got your individual memory of the past based on what you stored as information in terms of events and experience, and also what you decided on what each event meant to you. Right? So this is basically what we then think is our past. And that can be changed. Right? That can be changed. Elian just typed in, why do negative emotions carry more weight than positive ones? That's a really interesting question. And the basic answer is we are so much more focused on negative emotions than on positive ones. And who would say this is true? What society gives us is fear-based, is oriented towards problem solving, is really, really just basically focusing on survival. Right on, Laura, right? It's all about survival. We are not conditioned into focusing on the emotions that we consider as positive, right? And this is something that we can do. And this is actually what we do through this work here, because guess what? If you practice consistently every single day to step into the emotion of your end results, if you consistently practice every single day to do your meditations, that will shift. So this goes out to you, Elian, and everyone who's new to this. You will make the shift. You will make the shift, and you will absolutely have that experience of your focus really shifting towards that experience of what it is that you are becoming, what it is that you're living, creating what it is that is really true to you, right? It's just we haven't learned it the way we grew up, right? We haven't learned that the way we grew up. However, what we can do, absolutely, yes. Yeah, the past is events that were given emotional meanings. Absolutely, yes. Beliefs were added to what it is that we experienced, and based on the emotions that we felt in the very moment, these beliefs were shaped in a certain way because a decision had to be made, and based on in what state we were in, the decision was made, right? It is powerful. It is powerful. Now, the great news is, and that applies to everyone, we can go back to the original event. When that belief that holds this emotion in place that we feel is stuck, we can go back to that original event and we can choose a different belief that will serve us better and that will shift the meaning. And in the very moment, we will unhinge the table leg that is supporting the stuck emotion, and we can take action with ease and flow. Right? Absolutely flip it, Mick. Flip it on its head, and just really, and this is one of the, to me, that's really a human superpower, right? We have a consciousness that is able to redecide in terms of what an event means to us. We are the conscious beings who can do that. And I mean, how awesome is that, beautiful people? How awesome is that? We can go and redecide what an event means to us. We can flip those beliefs, and we can shift our perception. We can shift our beliefs. We can unhinge the table legs and really just ensure that
whatever was stuck moves to flowing, right?